Hello everybody, we're back here at Greenwood Bonsai. We've recently just returned from the trophy show in Belgium this past weekend. We were going to try and do a bit of a road trip video like we did last year. We got a little bit of footage. Josh didn't do as much filming as you anticipated, did you, Josh? He's concentrated a bit more on having fun. I mean, drinking beer, I mean having fun.
It's like we're in Spaniard.
I've had a few pints.
So we all had a great trip. There was about 10 of us went over to the show. We've got a little bit of footage of things that we saw and we bought while we were here. Hello everybody, we're on our way to the trophy show in Belgium, same as previous years. We've come off the ferry this morning near Rotterdam. We stopped off at Bonsai Plaza. It's like 13 degrees and sunny. We're just having a mooch round, found some nice trees already, and then we're going to head from here over to Bonsai, and then tomorrow we're going to be at the trophy show. We're going to bring you along with us, show you around, show you a few of the trees that we're looking at, and try and get you excited about the show. For those of you that can't make it over there, give you a bit of an insight into the biggest bonsai show in Europe, and I hope you enjoy following along with us in this video. Thank you.
So I've been looking around a while, there's lots of stuff to see, and I found a Calicarpa japonica beauty berry. I think I'm going to have that.
Juniper on rock. We found some nice black pines. We've got about 15 black pines that will be coming over once they're out of quarantine. Little junipers, have a browse through. Old ones with dead wood, old Itagawas, beautiful trees. There's a couple of people on my trip this year that haven't been before, and they're the ones that are just walking around in a bit of a daze, not knowing what to do with themselves. I think they're spent up and they've not even got to the show yet, so I think they need to check their bank balances.
Life goes spunky at the bar. You need the time to realize, remember who you are. Rise up, aim high, and you will go far. Need to realign to move forward. Stand up, don't spunky at the bar. You need the time to realize, remember who you are. Rise up, aim high, and you will go far. Need to realign to move forward. Can you slow it for a second? There is a price to pay in this harsh devil lesson. Can you do it what you reckon? You have a choice to be alive.
Back in the UK, it seemed like before we went it was winter and things were quite tight in bud, and just in the last few days, a bit of warm weather, things are starting to move. This blue cedar here, we were just looking at that, and this is just starting to send buds out. You see here, tiny little bud, but it's the approaching the end of February in the UK. We have had some mild weather, so this is starting to push. We've got a little bit of colour over here, a Cornus Mass Cornelian cherry in full flower. Yamadori collected tree, just living outside the studio here for guests to look at and appreciate, and it's in full flower at the moment. It doesn't flower for long. I've got introductory bonsai courses I'm teaching this weekend, so we'll put that in on exhibition, and that'll be a lovely display for the students to look at when we're working on the trees. So let's go in the studio and have a look at what we're doing. And we bought a selection of pots while we're in No Landers, and we're just going to show you a little bit about a few of them. Okay, so every year when we go to the trophy show, one of the draws for that show for me, not only the Masterpiece Bonsai on exhibition, but I particularly enjoy Scratchy. Eugene, can you stop scratching? We're trying to do a film here. And Cleo, you don't need to get on it either. So working with animals and dogs, look, always in the way. So one of the reasons we go to that show, I particularly like to go, is to get a range of bonsai pots for some of my own trees. There's probably 30 potters there from all over Europe. So this is a tree that I went in search of a pot for. So this is a Turkey oak. That's a recent addition to my collection. It's about a 35-year-old tree, grown in the UK for that many years. Particularly good nibari for a homegrown tree. Old bark, very craggy and flaky, good movement, and really nice taper and branching. And I've recently wired it. Now, this pot is quite a good match to it when it has leaf on in autumn, because it's the same sort of tone. But I think this pot's a little bit too small, and I wanted something that blended with it, not just in autumn, but all times of the year. So particularly went hoping, fingers crossed, that I could find a suitable pot, and I've got a cedar in a Klika pot. They make pots from the Czech Republic, and they had a suitable pot on their stand. So this is the Klika pot that I bought for this tree, and it's good for this tree because it's got the brown colour in it that matches with the young bark, but it's also got the grey tone on it that picks up the greyness of this bark. So I think the tone of this with this tree is going to work quite well, and it's got more texture than this pot. So this texture emulates the texture in the bark. So I'm going to get this potted later on in this video so you can see it completed. Also, it's just right, it's just 1.5 inches or so longer, because obviously when this is in leaf, the leaves are about 2.5 to 3 inches long, so it's going to be a bit broader, and that's just going to give it a little bit more room to grow. So really pleased to find that pot. Let me show you a few other things that we managed to get while we were there, a bit more information. So this tree is a Yukon maple, semi-cascade. I bought off a customer. I've had it quite a few years, and initially it was an upright tree that's then been cascaded down. It's in a Walsall Studio Ceramics crescent pot that was made for it, but I want to get it into something a little bit bigger. I haven't got any larger crescent pots, but I was looking at these pots. Do you remember this tree? A year ago on our trophy trip, I bought this tree and I called it the Slug. Can you get it there against the plain background a bit, Josh? And this was a tree where when I bought it, I couldn't decide if it was nice or whether it was ugly. I decided it was both. It's nice and ugly. So I bought it and I put it in this Koyo pot. Beautiful Japanese pot. Now, this is a Suma Beni maple. Aesopomortum Suma Beni. When it comes into leaf, the tips of the leaf are bright red. So it's quite a showy tree, and therefore it's in quite a showy pot. But it has a big leaf, 3.5 inch long. So when this comes into leaf, it grew quite a lot last year, and I think this pot for me is a bit small for it. So I've been looking around to see what we can find. I bought this Chinese pot a year ago, just because I liked the way the glaze sat on it, like clouds. So I'm thinking of putting this Slug, taking out the Koyo pot and putting it into that pot there. Let me lift it up. If you stay there, Josh. Can you get it against the bamboo background? So we're thinking of putting that into that pot, because it's quite bright and colourful, and give it a bit more room to grow. Because in that one last year, look, you can see how much soil it had. You know, when I was watering it, you have to give it quite a lot of water. So I think this pot will do it, make it easy to look after and benefit it. So we've been playing around with that, and that led us to looking at this pot. And I bought this pot while we were in. I bought it from Holland last week. This is an old a Shuho pot, and just got the colours, the glaze of this. And this is inside, and outside in the light. Oh, it's got a bit of sellotape on it, look. where I took the price off, so my wife didn't know. Look at the colours in there, absolutely incredible. So thinking of maybe using that for the Corin group. So maybe that, not group, sorry, cascade. Here we go. Can we get this? Thinking about putting that in here, leaning it over like that. Obviously Corin maple, this has got bright lime green growth in spring. So we're thinking about putting that into there, aren't we, Josh? So I'll just lean that there a little minute. Come and have a look over here. Some of you might remember this tree. This was bought at the trophy show a year ago. We showed you it on the video from last year. A blue spruce, and it was just in a wooden box. And here's a photograph of it when I bought it a year ago. And I shaped and styled this at our bonsai event last year, and then it's also just been recently potted into this oval pot. So you can see how that tree's progressed in a year. That's come on really well. And then we've got this pot by Andrea Meyer from Austria. This is one that he put on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I decided I'd have it. So we bought that. There's another one here, the large one. That's a Terra Jade pot. I just like the glaze, and then the textured bottom half of the pot is quite nice. Put that in there. This one we'll get to in a little bit. I'll talk to you about that in a while. That's another Terra Jade pot, look. Just thought it was quite unique. Unusual glaze. Not sure what we'll put in it. Find something nice to go into that. And I bought this pot, Wabi Sabi pot. And I bought this with just one intention of putting a ginkgo tree into it. Ginkgo trees in autumn were bright yellow, and I think it'll look really nice. The only snag is I haven't got a ginkgo tree to put in it, but I've got the pot, so now I've just got to try and find the tree. And notice that this accent, this drop of glaze, this is deliberate, that from this side it's on the left, and from this side it's on the right. So if the tree is on this side of the pot, with movement from right to left, this will be the front, and if it's from left to right, this will be the front, because your eye will be drawn to that accent of glaze. And this is another pot, another Austrian pot from Andrea, and the colours of this. I don't buy many rectangle pots. They're not a very easy pot to use, but I did get persuaded because it's such an elegant, beautiful pot. If I don't use it, I'll enjoy looking at it. I don't know if I've got the right tree for that yet. So it's all kicking off here at the moment. We've just come back from the trophy. I've got 7 full days of teaching here now, and the weekend after next we're getting ready for Bonsai Fest. This is a new show. It's about 30 minutes from us. 16th of March, Bonsai Fest in Newark. It's an amazing venue. There's loads of traders there, exhibition of trees, and it's going to be a show that's more sort of Midlands, Northern based. So you'll see us there on the 16th of March. This pot here, one of the main reasons we went to look for pots, we wanted a pot for my large Shishigashira maple. I think we've shown you this in the past, and we struggled to find a pot, didn't we, Josh? We had a look round. A lot of the potters, European potters, haven't got a kiln to find really big pots. I mean, a couple of them do, but they've not got a pot suitable. We really struggled because it's got quite a big base to it. So we were quite lucky to find this Shuho pot, which I'm really hoping is going to suit this Shishigashira. And we're going to show you a video of this. So just teasing you to show you this pot. I'm desperate to get the tree potted, but for the next 7 days I'm teaching people to work on their trees and I haven't got time to do any of my own. So we're going to do a separate video on this. You know, we had so many people coming up to me at the show saying they enjoy the videos, so many of our followers. So, you know, really great. Thank all of you that came up and asked us to do more videos and said that they follow the videos, you know, from so many different countries. But you did also say to me, you've not done a video for a while, Corin. So you weren't complaining. I think you were just giving me a bit of a nudge. So a few of you said, you've not done a video for a while. So we're like, yeah, we know. Yeah, we'll get back and we promise we'll do you a video. So after this video, we're going to get a video done on repotting this in a week or so. So that's what we're on with now. We're going to have a look at this tree, this oak, have a little think about repotting it, see where we are with it. So could do with really taking it out of here and just having a look. So I don't know how long it's been in this pot for. So obviously it was in this pot when I bought it. Now, and this wire, that's putting down through the drainage hole, so we need to get rid of that section. That's quite solid in there. So use a sickle like this just to run around the edge of the pot, which should help to sever any roots. Notice, or put your hand down here. What you don't want to do is do this, because if you ever slip, yeah, it's not going to be nice. So work our way round. Let's see if that's done anything to loosen it up. Almost, but not quite. Let's try again. Perhaps get a bit further down. Into these corners. There we go. Judging by that, I'd say, oh, excuse me, it's probably been in there for a couple of years or so. Some quite large aggregate in the bottom of that. And then we'll just get it combed out, get it repotted. Let's have a little look. So it's quite exciting going to a show like that and managing to find a pot that you want for one of your trees, and then of course it's just as exciting when you get back and you get to actually pot it into that pot. I normally go over with a little list of what pots I'm after, what size the trees were, that sort of thing. What we'll do, we'll get rid of some of this loose stuff on the surface. You can see here there's more base in here, look, isn't there? So that's good. So find a bit more nibari at the base. You normally use a chopstick for this worker. I'm using a root hook, but it's quite a blunt root hook. If it's too sharp on some trees, you can rub this bark off if you're not careful. You're better off using a wooden implement for this job. But this one's so blunt it doesn't really do any harm. And let's see if we can't, once we've worked our way around like that, see if we can't reduce. Let's take that down, because that's not attached to anything, so that's not doing anything. And let's see if we can just cut that root ball down a little bit. We use our little helper for that. So just pop it sideways over the table. So I've got it. I've gone through some knuckles of root on the underside. It's got a thick layer of root off, and we can go in with some Greenwood scissors, tidy it up a little bit more. Careful, always holding the tree quite high up where the bark's not so flaky, so as not to damage it. Like so, and let's have a look at the base. So this thatch of root here, look, I've still got a bit of it on this side, and a bit of wire here that have been holding it in. See if we can't pull that out like that. That's a thick root here, look. See this sort of thing? You don't really need this. That's what that saw was struggling on. There's that thick root there. Let's get rid of that. Another one there. Here. So it's good to be back in the studio trying to get caught up. You know, it seems like a couple of weeks ago the spring seemed a long way off, and then all of a sudden it seems like we're marching towards it. I know some of you in climates with colder weather are probably still in like depths of winter and the trees are quite tight, but in the UK, you know, because we've got a milder winter, all of a sudden stuff starts to change, stuff starts to move. You know, some of my customers that shelter the trees a bit more than I do, they've already got trident maples that have split bud. Your blackthorn's starting to move, hasn't it, Josh? That's nearly got leaf on it. Amur maples are always very early, so they're started. And Chinese quince, you know, and they don't shut down for winter, they just sort of keep on going over here. So Chinese quince are in bud, aren't they? So another few weeks, and some of those, no, another 2 weeks, and it'll be too late for some of those trees that I've mentioned. So we're going to have to speed up a little bit and get ready, get the repotting done. I don't need that little root coming off that one. This little stuff here. A little bit more off this side. Let's see if we can't just tidy the surface up. So for a tree this size, just use a stiff hand brush like that, and then try and tidy up some of these roots that we don't need coming out here. This one here, these spindly ones, so we can show off the main root. There's one here, look, so these little fluffy bits growing up from it. So I thought I'd just show you the repotting process of this tree, and then we're going to show you at the end of this video, we'll show you the before and afters of the slug just here and of the Yukon maple, so you can see in the pots before and in the pots afterwards.
It seems that it's gone too far. Moderation is up for the card. Intoxication is your main cause for the day, for the mob. So won't you tie me down? I have been stuck in this hole. Need to find my way out. Need self-control. a minute. There is a race to win in this life cause you're in it. So show me, are you with it? You have a choice to be alive, yeah. Our strength shows in how we stand. There's our destruction.
So just brought the tree back in the studio, giving it just a light jet wash outside. So you can see the roots a little bit more on it. There's a little one that could probably come off actually. So a lot of this was covered with soil. This root here, this one coming out here is okay. This one here, though it looks like a surface root, and it is, it's crossing over that other one. So really that should come off really, because it's going to just cut into that one. So that wants to come off. Then this little bit here, that knuckle there wants coming off. And this one here is too high up, so that can pull out like that. And then we've got it all tidied up. We put some mesh in the pot, and we've got some anchorage wires in. And this was growing in a bit of ceramist, like hydroponic soil, and a bit of akadama. And probably just use that as a bit of a drainage layer or something. We're just going to put it into neat akadama. Again, hold it high up away from the bark. And then get it into position. So the position of this tree in here wants to be about here. Sometimes you could have it here and lean it, because you've got direction, initial direction this way, but the main direction is from left to right. So if you have it like that, you're still a bit too far over to the right, and the tree's quite central in the pot. So the best position of it is here, more on the left, more upright, and then arcing over to the right. So, I mean, look at this. We're just saying the soil was up to here. So all this we found, a load of this here. This nibari here was under soil level. So we found some really cracking roots on that. Very, very pleased with that. That's a good half an hour's work. And then we'll fill it in with akadama. Like so. And then we'll use our Greenwood potting stick. A friend of mine makes these, turns them on his lathe. For those who use chopsticks for this, for a bigger tree like this, this is just so much quicker. Just to get rid of any air pockets and to help settle the soil down. You can see the level of akadama reducing as you do this, as it tumbles its way down through the cracks and the crevices and around the root system. Always worthwhile doing that. A little bit more akadama around the front here. A bit there at the back. And finally, we get the wires come across here. So we're just cutting across the top of that root ball. Just put it with this one, put it tight, then twist to take up any slack. Again and again, a couple of twists like that. Just trim off any excess and push that down into the soil, nice and neat. And the same with this one. This is coming across here, just missing that surface root just nice. And then same with that, just pull it and twist it like so. Trim off any excess, push that down like that, and then just a little bit of finishing Akadama, just to hide that sneaky little wire. And then we'll lift this out and give it a water. We'll show you the before and after photograph so you can see the difference between the old pot and the new pot. And I can't wait to see this tree come into leaf and see how it responds this year. It's a lot more suitable pot, a little bit larger, a better tone, similar shape, and it should be happy in here for a few years to come.